Hi everyone! Today we'll be covering how to prepare for MMIs, a crucial step in the med school admissions process. So first things first, congratulations! You've made it to the MMI stage and medical schools want to see you succeed. In this video, we'll uncover insider tips, walk you through sample questions, and share direct quotes from admissions experts who've been on the front lines of the MMI process. Let's dive in. So what is the MMI format? The multiple mini interview, or MMI, was pioneered by McMaster University in 2002. It's designed to assess your communication skills, ethical reasoning, critical thinking, and readiness for the profession. This format involves several time stations, each with a unique prompt or scenario, and your performance at each station is evaluated separately. You'll be given around 5 to 8 minutes per station, with 2 minutes of prep time. So you might be wondering, why do schools use MMIs? Well, instead of one long conversation with a single interviewer, the MMI lets you meet multiple interviewers and actors. This helps limit bias and provides a fair, more rounded assessment of your candidacy. To sum it up, here's what Glenn, the Associate Dean of Admissions and Recruitment at the University of Arizona, says. We appreciate the process is grounded in theory, supported through research, and has continually allowed us to support our goal of having true community involvement in our admissions decisions. This means you'll have multiple chances to showcase your unique personality, communication style, and problem-solving abilities. Gabriel, an MD and Associate Dean at Stanford University, expands on this by saying, at this stage, all of our candidates are academically ready for medical school. What we want to measure next are the more personal traits that aren't so easy to measure: compassion, ethics, critical thinking, interpersonal skills. So now that you know what the MMI is, here are 10 tips for success. Number 1, know your application. If you have a stand-up personal statement or a weak spot in your transcript, be ready to talk about it. Aditya, a radiology resident at Mayo Clinic, says, if you had a really, really good personal statement that blew everyone away and you're not really able to articulate that in person, it can be noticed. Number 2, research the school. Check the admission statement, unique programs, and any special curriculum. L, an MD candidate, Duke, says, there's little things where they're specific to the school, and if you mention them, even if you don't know what you're interested in or the professor that you would want to work with, it shows that you've really done your research. Number 3, stay current on healthcare issues. Read reputable journals like JAMA and keep an eye on the news. Number 4, practice with sample questions. Practice really does make perfect and will help you feel more confident on interview day. Number 5, master ethical frameworks. Practice approaching issues of patient confidentiality, informed consent, and so on. 6, mock interviews and expert feedback. Chiamaka, a former admissions officer at Dartmouth and MD student at Duke, emphasizes mock interviewing is by far the best way to prepare. You really want to practice those answers because the more you practice, the more some of the answers start to flow naturally to you. Number 7, mind your body language. Smile, maintain an open posture, and make appropriate eye contact with your interviewer. Number 8, time management. Remember, each station is only 5 to 8 minutes, so you need to be concise. Number 9, use personal experiences. Aditya, a radiology resident at Mayo, says, you can kind of just quickly pull from your experience and say, okay, this is where I showed that quality. You're in control of your own experiences, so know them very well. And last but not least, professionalism and courtesy. Make sure to thank your interviewers, respect their time limits, and remain polite, even when you're under pressure. So we're seeing more and more virtual MMIs now, so here's some tips to kind of keep in mind. You want to ensure you have good lighting, a quiet space, and importantly, a stable internet connection. Chiamaka has one suggestion for students. She says, I've heard people use an Ethernet cable to make sure they don't have an unstable internet connection. If you can do that, that's perfect. Also, of course, make sure you test your camera and mic well in advance of your interview so you don't have any issues on the day of. Now, let's go over some common MMI stations and sample questions. So your stations may include ethical dilemmas, role-play situations, teamwork decisions. You might also be asked about current events, decision-making scenarios, or character development exercises. Sometimes an interviewer or actor will test how you handle tough conversations. For instance, Chiamaka loves to throw curveballs. She says, one of my really good questions I like to ask is, what's a good book, poem, or documentary you've seen that made you think about things in a different way? So you never know what might pop up, so be ready to think on your feet. Now let's go over some quick sample questions and answers. So first, here's an ethical question. What do you do if a family member requests private patient info? So for this type of question, you want to focus on patient confidentiality, empathy, and giving a clear explanation of the policy. Second, here is a personal question that's pretty standard. Why do you want to be a doctor? So for this one, you really want to focus on your authentic story, your key experiences, and your personal growth. Another really popular type of question is current healthcare. So you might be asked something like, what's the most pressing issue in US healthcare? To answer this, it's a good idea to focus on underserved populations, personal anecdotes, and potential solutions. So some key takeaways are, for each answer, ensure you outline the dilemma or question, ensure you consider multiple viewpoints, demonstrate empathy and critical thinking, and always aim for clarity and conciseness. So next we have teamwork and role play scenarios. These are when you kind of have to solve a task together. So for that, you need to show that you can communicate effectively and be supportive. In role play stations in particular, you really want to commit to the scenario. So this might involve counseling a patient or delivering bad news. And then for all of them, you really do want to stay calm and empathetic. So to close off, here is a checklist to keep in mind for the day of your interview. Number 1, you want to arrive or log on early if it's a virtual MMI. Number 2 is to dress professionally. 3 is to eat well and stay hydrated. 4 is to take deep breaths. And 5 is to have a polite farewell. Remember, you've prepared for this, so stay calm and confident. Elle, an MD candidate at Duke, advises students really do try to limit their stress. She says, don't let yourself get too stressed out. It's really important to be able to kind of move on to the next station and have your thoughts together. So if you are nervous, just take a deep breath. It's completely normal. Also remember to always thank your interviewers and consider sending them a short, polite thank you note if the school allows you to. And that pretty much sums it up. Thanks for tuning in to our MMI prep video featuring real insights from admissions experts. If this helped you, make sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more med school content, and share this with a friend who might be prepping too. Best of luck on your MMIs, and you've got this.